me if I need people to cheer me on. My word. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Khan. That was amazing, as always. All right, so we do have a waterfall of thank yous. I'm going to go through this very fast. But no, not taking anything away from anyone, but we did have a lot of people who were expressing gratitude in the link, and some special presentations that we'll get through, and then the barbecue, because I know we're hungry. But one special guest has come all the way from a far, far land at the ISC to present something to someone here on our staff. Dr. Demetria Williams helps to support our counseling team.
Good morning. I love the energy, by the way. This is like filling my bucket when you're at the ISC. We don't have this type of energy up here all the time. So this has been awesome for me. So back in February, one of your very own, Ms. Hall, Jamila Hall, was recognized as our Middle School Counselor of the Year for Gwinnett County Public Schools. And so she will now be able to go on to compete at the state level for State Counselor of the Year. But I'm here today because we partner with Herff Jones, and they always present and provide a Counselor of the Year ring for all of our recipients. So I am honored today to be here to give Jamila, Ms. Hall, her Counselor of the Year ring, and just take a moment to say thank you for all that she has done for the students here at Lilburn Middle School and the faculty and families that she supports here. I understand she's not here right now, but I'm going to trust that Dr. Irish will present her with the ring for us. And just once again, thank her so much for all that she's done. We're so excited.
I feel like the ring bearer at a wedding. Dr. Williams.
Another meeting, but thank you all so much.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Okay, so we have a lot of thankful people in here, and so I'm going to read it fast, but it's not taken away from how big the thank you is towards this person. Dr. K would like to thank, she wants to thank our STEM and math teachers because they helped to participate in her research study. Ms. Tuff wants to thank Ms. Falone for hard work that doesn't go unnoticed. Ms. Fenimore wants to thank me, Cal, Allen, Ms. Allen, for smart, oh wow, I'm gonna print this one out. It says the smartest, kindest, most beautiful. I'll pay you later, Ms. Fenimore. The real beauty that comes from within and goes. Is Mr. Howland here? I just wanted to see his face when I read that. Okay, I will read it again for him. Okay, so Ms. Tuff wants to thank Ms. Bridges because she earned her degree. Ms. Tuff wants to thank Ms. Valencia for making it through her first year of teaching. Ms. Sarce wants to thank Dr. Maresh and Mrs. Cooks because even though they have to follow the protocol, they always do it with great empathy, and they never doubt that they understand the teacher's point of view when it comes to behavior and what they have to endure in the process. Dr. Seabright is thanking me, but I want to thank her because she's thanking me for being on time and being helpful, but we all know she has stepped up our game in terms of student leadership, so thank you. Mr. Johnson wants to thank Coach Crawford and Dr. Del Castillo for supporting the school, leading our, basically giving up their classroom.
Yes.
I know that that's our auditorium, but it's really their classrooms. And they have turned that over to us several times this year to do events. So we just all should thank them. Okay, Mr. Boyne is thanking Ms. Allen and Kroll for helping to produce the yearbook this year, and it does look great. So, okay, Dr. Seabright wants to thank Toronto, Fatima, Martin, Doyne, and Ms. James for helping to make the National Student Leadership Dinner and Recognition Awards a meaningful event for LMS students. Ms. Edwards wants to thank the LMS Mustang Counselor Connection for the Spring Counselors Advisory Council presentation, making it a success. Thank you. Mr. Boyne is thanking Ms. Herkey, Mr. Haddock, Ms. Kroll, Mr. Williamson, Dr. Shields, Mrs. McIntosh, and Dr. Hill for leading English classes, which were awesome. And they volunteered to give up time helping me. Mr. Doyne wants to thank Dr. Skinner, Ms. Kroll, and Ms. James for just supporting campus life, and to Dr. Del Castillo for allowing them to use the gym. Mr. Doyne wants to thank Ms. Kroll and support from Ms. Curry, Ms. Rivera, Ms. Freeman, and Ms. Torres for renovating. I don't know if y'all been in there, but it's starting to look like really, really swanky in there. So they've done a really good job of just redoing it. So thank you all the ladies. Yes, what'd you say? It was fine before? It looks great now. We went from good to great. Okay, so Ms. Bryant wants to thank the staff for putting up with all her shenanigans, making sure that students could experience live theater in school this year. They had 6 total productions, 20 different shows, 11 of which were during the school day. Woo! Students who were able to come to the shows enjoyed them. That is true. I've heard them talk about it. And student actors got a lot of stage practice and experience leading up to the evening shows. Thank you to everyone for making the shows a success. And our last but not least thank you is from Mr. Boyne to Ms. Martin for taking the lead on Environmental Club this year. And she's going to be working in the summer with Environmental Club all on her own time and her own initiative. All right, so we have some people who help to make us a smarter school. You know, one of the things I always say is I want us to be a thinking school. So I don't micromanage, I try to let y'all be professionals, and you guys come up with awesome, creative, innovative ideas as a result. And we can only do that by staying in the game, sharpening our tools, and getting smarter. So if you submitted your name as a graduate or program completer, if you can just stand over here for just one moment. And some of our folks who read my message have put on their regalia this morning. Show it off. summer, but decided to come back because she wants to talk to us a little bit about her experience here in Lilburn. This is not part of her presentation. We're going to jump back to this. But do you see her? No? Valerie? Come on, Valerie. Okay, so if you know Valerie, she is an awesome student. She's a student leader. You know, one of the big areas of focus that I have is building our student leadership, because we believe if they're involved in positive things and leading, then they won't have a lot of hands and get involved in negative things. And so that's really a big focus of ours, and we have some champions amongst you all who are helping make that happen. So Valerie works closely with student council. She's on the advisory board. There's like a million things you're doing. Just come on down. I wanted to hear from her, and let me just tell you the context. So I spoke to Valerie last week, and I said, Valerie, I want the staff to hear from you. I don't want the inspiration to be more of me or more of another grown-up. I said, let them hear from you. And then she has been like, what do I say? Like multiple times coming to me, and if y'all know anything about the roller skates that we ride during the day. So she finally gave up, went home. But then she messaged Mr. Doyne and was like, I've been trying to get with Dr. Irish, and I just want to know what to say on Friday. So we worked together, and the only charge I gave her was to speak from her heart, talk about the highs, the lows, and just tell you some encouragement. Okay, so we're going to hear her words, and she's going to come forward. And so let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're doing great.
Yes.
Today, I want to thank all of you for your kindness and patience that you gave us as students during this school year. Thank you for being there and listening to your students when they needed help. Thank you for making us notice our mistakes and correct them. Being in this school, I have learned to never give up and continue fighting for my goals until I achieve them. I also have learned to take advantage of the good opportunities that come to my way. Another thing that I also have learned in here is that there's always a solution to my problems, and that I can count with you. We, the students, appreciate you, because teachers don't just teach, they prepare us for the road ahead. You made a huge impact for the students this year. Without you, I wouldn't be here where I am. We all, the students, admire what you do. My goal is to make a big impact in society by helping, being a good influence, and by working together. My goal is to make the world a better place. And being in this school and with all of these amazing teachers have made me feel that I'm able to achieve this goal. Now I'm going to give my next step in the ladder, which is going to high school. When I be in high school, I will always remember the good advices you gave me and the old memories that I have with each one of you. Thank you for everything, and I wish you a great summer.
So that is our talent. That's our future. And if you know about, can Valerie's teacher stand up, please? And this is why it's important for us to really shift our thinking, because one of the things that Valerie's most proud about is that she was born in Columbia. And so English is her second language. But she approaches things from a skill and from a asset approach versus a deficit And so when we think about that we're an EL school, when we think about our students having language learning needs, they don't have thinking needs. Valerie is an amazing example of that they can become anything they want to be. And Valerie's going to be really important to us because she's going to help us. One day we'll see her out there. She's like, I went to Lilburn. It was like, I know her, because she's awesome. But she, this is just encouragement for you to think about, as we're planning for next year, that we're shifting over to a multilingual learner, and this is why. Because not from a deficit standpoint, but from the point that our students are talented, and we got to pull that out in any way that we can. But thank you, Valerie. All right, speaking of pulling out amazing talent, I want to thank two people who kind of pulled together an activity. I think it just evolved into what it became, but it was awesome. And so Dr. Shields or Ms. Cole, do you guys want to say anything about the image here? This was part of an activity done as an extension of Black History Month. It was a little bit delayed, but it was awesome.
I'll start and I'll pass the mic to Mrs. Cole. Good morning, everyone. As you know, each year when we do Black History Month, we usually extend it to an opportunity for our students to write poetry. And this year, we had the pleasure of having some of our 8th graders to participate. And we didn't readily get entries. And so as the year went on, we suddenly discovered that we had 8th graders to submit. And Ms. Cole didn't let it die. So I'm going to pass the mic to her so she can share what she did with the entries as we went on.
Good morning. It was a joint effort including Dr. Hill and Ms. Desnos as well, so I want to make sure that they are acknowledged. This began, as Dr. Shields says, with asking if any students wanted to submit poems for Black History and Futures theme. That was the theme, Black History and Futures, so that they had a wide range. And we received 3, one from a 6th grader and 2 from 8th graders. We thought we would hang on to them until National Poetry Month, which was April. Had a Zoom spoken word event, quite a few teachers and I think a couple of administrators, including, and Mr. Doing attended and gave a poem. And so this picture shows the 3 people who submitted poems, and then you'll see a young lady in a yellow hoodie. She was most interested, she's one of my students, and she was most interested in learning how to write poetry and learning how to present spoken word. So I wanted to include her, and she actually was on the Zoom call as well. So we are hoping going into the fall, and this is Dr. Irish's suggestion, that perhaps we do a spoken word event in the fall and another one in the spring.
I appreciate you pouring into our students. All right, so hopefully, okay, so if you were on the principal advisory board, if you could just stand up for a second. This board convenes every year, and really it's kind of fluid because there's no term commitment. You can come or go from year to year. But this is a group of folks who sit around and talk about challenges that we have in our school. They present ideas to me. They also let me know of concerns that may be blind spots that we're not aware of. And so I appreciate this group for giving up time. We were meeting sometimes in the morning, sometimes after school. And it's another thing to do, but they did come in representation of you, so we do thank them for their time. Thank you, PhD. All right, so we have Coach Crawford, Coach Del Castillo, Coach Shope. Stand up, please. So if you had seen the scene in the cafeteria the other day, you would know just why we need to thank them. Their goal this year has been to introduce present healthy habits to our students in many different ways. I know we did the news show activities last year. This year was more about nutrition. And so you notice that they were giving away samples, blending smoothies, and the line of students who were leaving, and then their reviews on the way out. This is pretty good. And so we hope that they will continue those healthy habits as life goes on for them. But we thank them for giving up time to help make our school healthier. There's some more initiatives that will be planned over the summer that we will present to you in the fall. But we do appreciate them continuing to do that for us. So thank you, coaches. All right, PBIS team, Dr. Maresh, and the team members, can y'all stand up? If you're on the PBIS team, stand up. I think everyone knows that Lilburn is a PBIS school. All of our students know that we are a PBIS school. They may not do it every day, but they know all of the tenets. If you ask them, they know all of what it stands for. And so that's because the PBIS team, they meet regularly and they think of the problems we have and they think of possible solutions. And there are many volunteers on this team, and it's because of you that we're able to have fun days and other activities that we have planned. So thank you, PBIS team. Thank you, Dr. Maresh, for your leadership on that, and we look forward to what's planned for next year. Okay, congratulations to Ms. Markington for winning the taking care of our school, but she earned nearly a perfect score. So this was higher. I was comparing notes with other principals, and she's like the highest. So I'm so proud of her for working so hard to keep us clean and for just making sure that we are in a healthy and safe building.
Did you tell them that she was going to be featured on
Okay, so there's a local media person who reached out, and they're actually going to be interviewing her and presenting that out. So once it's published, we got district approval for that. And so she will be a local celebrity pretty soon here, but if you guys just kind of look out for that. You know, Ms. Markington is very humble and not one to brag and boast. So it took her a while to respond, but Ms. Carmichael and I kept saying, are you willing to do it? And then finally she said, sure. So they're going to interview her, and then we'll see that story when it comes out. Okay, so we have some mighty Mustangs that we have to thank. Dr. Maresh, do you want to mention something? Okay, so there are some certificates for our mighty Mustangs on the table, but if you are a new teacher, this was your first year, whether in the classroom or not, but first year at Lilburn, stand up, please. You know, most of our applause is because you came back every day. So we promise you next year is easier. The second year is always easier, but the first year is rough, especially post-pandemic. But we do thank you for pouring into our students, for just taking the feedback that you received, and for just being one tough person. But congratulations for making it through your first year. You can check that off. And now you can help a new person. All right, so we have another group that we need to thank. Our content leaders work tirelessly. They take a lot of feedback. They take on a lot of responsibility, sometimes without being asked to do that. But your content leaders, is kind of easy to assume you're just over here teaching like I am. That is true. But they're taking on additional responsibilities behind the scenes. So let's thank our content leaders for all of their hard work. I was going to tell them to stand up, but they are exhausted. So y'all just have to see, we'll stand up. Okay, and as you can see the quote down here, a leader is one who who knows the way goes the way and shows the way, and that's what they have to do. And it's complicated when you have to do that with a peer. Like, I'm kind of showing you, but I'm gonna back off if you don't like it. So that's the work of the content leader, but we thank them. All right, club sponsors pour out countless hours into our clubs. We can't have extracurriculars if we don't have adults willing to lead them. And so we have, I think, over 30, I haven't looked at the website lately, but I think there's like over 30 different clubs that we have. But if you are a club sponsor, you could just either stand up or wave, let everyone see you. We do thank you for your hard work. All right, so this is the time in our meeting where we don't look forward to this time. But we do have to acknowledge those who have given their time to help make us better. Sometimes the journey ends faster than we would want, and sometimes life just takes people in an unexpected direction. But we do have to appreciate and thank the time that people have put into being here, working around the clock, being professional, giving us everything, whether it's 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, and however long you've been here. We do thank you for helping make us great. All right, so let's start we're doing it by categories. And so we have 3 individuals who signed up for this wacky idea that you're going to do your student teaching, except you won't have a supervising teacher. You're going to be in the classroom full-time on your own. So think back to when you were a student teacher, all the questions you had, all the things you needed help with. Well, these 3 ladies had to do it on their own as real live teachers, except they were not, okay? So they took all the stress while still learning. As you heard, they graduated recently. Okay, so these ladies are moving on to different situations. Some are going to be in the classroom, some are not. But we want to definitely thank them for what they have done for us in Lilburn and just working for them. So we can stand up. All right, so we have 3 special education friends who are going to be taking their journey in another direction. I'm sorry about the misspelling there. There should be an L after Candace's name, Bethel. So I apologize for that. So we have Mr. Spudich, we have Ms. Bethel, and we also have Mr. Bell, who are going. Somehow her L went down to Kevon's name, so I don't know what happened. All right, Connections is holding strong, but we're losing one. Dr. CT, we're gonna miss you. Dr. CT is going on. They're doing her. All right, so let's be nice, friends. Okay, 6th grade, we have one moving on, and we have, like I said, life changes happens and sometimes takes us in different directions. But let's thank Ms. Groves for her time here in 6th grade. All right, in 7th grade, we have a few friends going. Thank you, Ms. Singletary, Mr. Schreck, Ms. Little, Mr. Vo, Mr. Reagan, Ms. Alvarez, and Ms. Eason for your time at Lilburn. We appreciate it. In 8th grade, we all know Ms. Perkins is retiring, Ms. Clark is moving on, and Mr. Cambry as well. But thank you for all of your service. So we have 2 support staff members. Again, life doing life, just being life. And so we have some people going in different directions. Ms. Calvac will not be returning to our clinic in the fall because she will be home taking care of her baby. And Ms. Lewis actually got a promotion, so she's going to be working as a media specialist in DeKalb County. And there's one more I did not list here. Ms. Curry's actually not returning as well, so she's going to be going on to do school full time. All right. Okay, thank you. And this is my fear, is that someone's going to be left off. But Dr. Myers and Ms. Young from our ESOL teams. They are moving on as well to different schools, but they have served us well and have done a great job. So thank you. Is there anyone, and now this is going to be really awkward. Is there anyone else? And if you didn't tell me before now, please wait until later. All right. Okay, so we do have our PTSA people here.
I don't see the
Did I hear
parents.
you? Okay, so we'll come back to it. Oh, Lord. Miss St. James. Miss St. James and Mrs. Carmichael. You know, leaders eat last. So we always think about everyone else and forget our own team. But Mrs. Carmichael, we know she's retiring, and Miss St. James is going back home to her prior school. So thank these ladies for their leadership. All right, and so I did want to give an opportunity. I know our APs work tirelessly around the clock, sometimes behind the scenes, doing things that, you know, can't even be described what they're doing. But if you could, if there's anything that y'all want to say, APs, to our staff before they head out, we're just about finished with everything. They're pointing at Miss St. James to say something.
This was my first ever assistant principal job. This was my first assistant principal interview. And I have been here for 13 years and love it every moment. You guys have grown me into the leader that I am today. I just love LMS. I want you to continue to write your own narrative. We have great, great, great people in this building. And we have to go out and let that district know who we are and who we belong to. You guys are fabulous. It's been a great, great 13 years. I'm walking out the door and I'm feeling really good about myself. I made it. And great admin teams to work with. My motto is teamwork makes the dream work, and I stand by that. You know, and there's no I in team. You all have to work together, so just keep the team and the dream working. Thank you.
I don't know if I follow that. I have to follow two deltas. AKA. That's a repeat. All right. I'm a man of few words. Hold on, I'll just like that. Thank you for the hard work you put in this year. It's been an epic year in a lot of ways. As y'all, I'm not done. Okay. It's been an epic year. Y'all have put in the hard work to make it a success. Rest this summer. Come back ready to head up. 8th grade, I love you. 7th grade, I look forward to working with you.
In my role, I kind of get to work with pretty much all of you in different capacities. I feel like I kind of touch everyone in the building in some way, shape, or form, which is definitely a blessing to me that you all are great people. For those of you who appreciate you, appreciate the time that you put in. Hopefully you'll always look back at your first fond memories for those of you who are staying. As I stay, I'm looking forward to another great year. So shake it up a little bit, we're going to have a great year. To it. I would like to work for Ms. Cook, but I'm done.
Testing, all right. To each and every one of you, I just want to say we are definitely grateful for you. You are phenomenal staff. I too, as AP of title, get to work with each one of you all. I've kind of touched you all some way. Money, money, money. But anyway, we're so thankful and grateful for all the work that you've done. I wish you much, much success and much rest for the summer. You know, this field that we're in, if you already know, if you don't know, this is not for the faint of heart. But you all stood the test and you're now getting your rest. So, love you all, and I hope that you know that we as APs, we do the very best that we can. We're not superhumans, but we try to do and support you all. And I hope that you all are seeing that we support you all, not in just words, but in action. We do love you.
Mr. Howard was trying to stay in the cut till I found him.
I'm definitely all in school right now. It's a very different world. It's all jeans and shorts over there. Just want to say thank you all so much for an incredible school year. And Miss Allen and Miss Bird, I want to give you guys a huge thank you. Where are you? Thank you both so much for everything you did to help me this year with connections. And only being here half a year, it's been a tremendous help. Thank you all so much. Get some rest. It's been a long school year. Have a great summer. And Connections, I'm looking forward to being a member of the Connections team next year as a teacher.
Okay, so we heard it's being shaken up, but I did not want to let this moment pass without publicly thanking our admin team. Like I said, they do a lot, they just kind of hold their head down and get the work done. But we do appreciate everything they do with their creativity, their talent. Let me go back to, who had that thing that said beauty, smart, and the whole thing? They're the whole package, and I just love them and I thank them for everything they do. All right, so I'm going to figure out a way to get this communicated. Just the main things, make sure your RVs is done before you go. Checklist items need to be done and signed. If you're moving rooms, go ahead and either move your items or let Ms. Marketing know if you need help. And for summer visitation, they're going to be tearing out carpet in a lot of rooms, replacing things, waxing floors. So it could be a safety hazard, so just communicate to us if you're coming up outside of scheduled times. Okay? All right. Okay. Yeah, let me All right, so we'll come back to our PTS in just one moment. We're gonna roll through our True Blue, because I'm looking at the time and I wanna make sure that we acknowledge those who have been here. So in our cluster, we have something that's very unique. It's called the True Blue Mustang. And you get acknowledged for staying here and working here at Meadow Creek Cluster. And the longer you stay, the deeper the blue. And so we're gonna start with 3 years of service. And the reason why they acknowledge 3 years is because at the 3-year mark in Gwinnett County, you're eligible to transfer. And so these are folks who, despite the fact that they have hit that point, they have stayed. And so we're at Meadow Creek Cluster acknowledging 3 years and beyond. Okay? All right, so when I call your name, just stand. We do have tokens for you, and if I call your name, I'm going to ask you to come see me after the faculty meeting. And if your name is not on here, it means that with the reminders, you never submitted. So, okay, we did the best we can to either find you or, okay. All right, so 3 years of service, Ms. Muller, if you will stand, Mr. Haddett, Ms. Goss, Ms. Ellis, and Mr. Moreno. So our students are better because they're here, so thank you for being here. 4-year mark, we have Ms. Wright, Mr. Spudich, Ms. Brooks, Ms. Bridges, Parrish, and as I call your name, you stand for me, please. Ms. Richards, Ms. Washington, Ms. Redway, Ms. Davis. You'll notice off to the side, it says Lilburn, or it says whatever location and the role. Because not only do you get credit for being at Lilburn, but you get credit for being anywhere in the cluster. Okay? All right, but we hope you are at Lilburn. Okay, more 4-year people. We have Ms. McCall, Ms. Lynn, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Checkwood, Mr. Bacon, Ms. Crow, Ms.